Hello, my name is Arthur, and in the last video we got our search and replace bars in place. And in this video we're going to move on with that. And I've already started putting in some of the forward things here. So I've declared a GTK entry buffer. I've changed the menu a little bit. I've gotten rid of the documents category because it's really just a placeholder. So getting rid of that. I also need to change the M limit, so the menu items limit. And in the search submenu, I've just reduced that to find and replace, because the other things I had there are components of the find and replace bar anyways. So I went with declaring the entry buffer global because in some places I don't see any way to pass it around. Down in making the search bar, I've added in, well, I sort of did some copy and paste and put the icon in for the close button on the bar. So I initialized the search buffer here just by getting the buffer from the entry, and I connect two signals. So the two signals are deleted and inserted text, and it basically just is a way to alert the functions for searching that something is being added or subtracted from the entry field, so it kind of makes the search active. So yeah, those two signals were added. There are functions to go along with those signals. So we have the delete text signal and the insert text signal. These are just right now routed to a search text function. So for this video, what we're going to do is we're going to take a first step. So a first step is we highlight a word as though we're going to search for it. We click on search and the word is in the search bar. So that's pretty much what we want to do. We want to take and make it so that the search bar, when it's opening, is going to check for a selection and enter the selection into the bar. So let's get back to the entry buffer. And I also have the documentation for the text buffer. So to get it to do that, I figure that would happen when the search bar is open. Now I'm going to change the way this is working, because the same thing happens if we press the replace bar button. So instead of just the straightforward idea of the replace button turning on the search bar, I'm going to have the replace button call the search function to turn on the search bar, and then turn on the replace bar that the search turns off. So that way, if we press search or replace, we can create the situation where the text ends up in the field anyways. So we'll just change that like this. So now when we press the replace bar, it will go search. Search will turn on HBox 1 and HBox 2. Turn off HBox 2. And then it'll quickly turn HBox 2 back on. So in order to get some text out of our document, we need some text editors. So we'll GTK text editor, and that needs to be a capital. GTK text editor will make start and end, and that's pretty standard. So we'll need to have the page number. So we'll in page equals current tab. We'll need a boolean. So gboolean check. And really all that we're going to do here is use this little routine from cut, copy, and delete that we made in that video. So let's actually just copy that rather than type this out slowly piece by piece. We just copy that in there. So we have check current tab, and we're going to check if there's a selection, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make it so that if there's a selection and the button is checked, it will do something with that selection. So we'll put in that condition, if check. Do some things. So we'll look in the documentation for the text buffer. And find the function that will get us done. So if we have a selection, we can call get selection bounds, and it will move the start and end iters to the start and end of the word that's selected. So we'll GTK text buffer get selection bounds. Book at page dot buff, comma, in start, comma, in end. So that'll place the start and end text editors on either side of the text. Then we would want to copy that text out. So constant jar equals GTK text buffer get text. Book page buff, comma, and start, comma, and end. And I think the next one is visible text, include hidden chars. So no, we don't want to include hidden chars here. So false. And then in GTK entry buffer, set text, and the entry buffer is called search buff. And let's get that spelt right. Search buffer, comma, select, comma, -1. So I think that's it. So let's just get a terminal and try to compile that. Ooh. So I'm presuming that needs to be a pointer. And everything's about that. So hopefully that gets her. We'll see how that works. So let's load a document up. I've put one on my desktop that's from a different project, and I picked it on purpose because it will have hints for search and how to do something like that. So let's select something. We'll open the search and replace bar, and that something is in the bar where we want it. So that's a first step. So yeah, I guess the next thing would be to get it to go through the entire body of text, searching for the keyword that's in the search bar, and get that working as though neither of the two toggle buttons are turned on in the first place. and then work towards getting it working with the three different searches that can happen from the button. So there's basically four kinds of searches. This one that will find the word no matter what characters are surrounding it and regardless of case. Then there's the case sensitive search that ignores whole word. There's the whole word search that won't ignore the characters that are around it. And then there's the combination of both. So basically there's four different ways to search for text. So we'll have to route up to the search text function with the toggle buttons, with I'd imagine a static variable to keep track of whether they're active or not. So when they get pressed, when they get toggled, a static variable would hold whether they are toggled or not. Something along those lines. So yeah, that's the first step anyways. We got the word to appear in this search bar, and when that happens, these functions should be alerted. So if we were to go up into print text or up into the search text function, what we should expect to happen is that without making a function call here in the search function, where we set that text in there, without making a call from there, we should expect the signal to alert search text that something happened. So we'll just print up here to confirm that something happened. And we'll save that. We'll stop this. We'll recompile. We'll run it. We'll load something. We'll search. We'll highlight it and click the search bar. And we'll do search and replace here, and we'll look that the function knew that something happened. So the function knows that something was added into the text bar. So that's how that message is going to get to the actual search text function. So that's it for this video. In the next video, we'll start looking at making a color tag and trying to actually search the text and finding all of the instances of a word. So until then, I hope this was helpful, and take care.